Hey guys, Declawed here. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a Feral Druid PvP guide where I'll be going over talents, glyphs, rotations, bursts, macros, key bindings, all the stuff like that. Alright, so to start out, we're going to go over our talents here. The best setup for PvP is going to always be Wild Charge, Ysera's Gift, Typhoon. You can sometimes swap out Fairy Swarm, Incarnation, Bash. Sometimes you can swap out Incap, Nature's Vigil, and Claws of Shivrala. There's a lot of debate between Claws and Blood Talons. I take Claws over Blood Talons because if I stack versatility with Claws of Shivrala, which gives you 5% more versatility, I can get a total of 17% versatility, which is 17% passive damage at all times, because versatility gives you increased damage by 4%. It increases your damage by the amount of versatility you have. So if you have 10% versatility, you have 10% more damage. Blood Talons, every time you cast Healing Touch, it causes your next two melee abilities to deal 30% additional damage. The only place this would be good in is if, say you're bursting, right here, you're bursting, you get to a Healing Touch, you would save it right here, get up again, get back to 5 combo points, you would cast a Healing Touch on yourself, and then boom, get a really big Ferocious Bite, and then maybe another big Shred. But that's about it. I mean, with that, you're not going to be doing the highest amount of damage output always. You're only going to have pretty big bursts sometimes, because sometimes you're not going to be able to keep that Healing Touch up before you can get 5 combo points again. And it's kind of worthless. Sometimes you're going to have to just use it offensively. It kind of makes it to where you're trying to heal offensively, and that's not the best thing to do. You just want to stick with Claws of Shivrala because it's good for casting Healing Touch in cat form, and it gives you passive damage all the time. For glyphs, you want to run Glyph of Savage Roar, which every time you rake or shred while prowling, you're granted Savage Roar as if it was worth 5 combo points. So every time I'm prowling, I cast Shred or Rake. It gives me a 45-second Savage Roar. Glyph of the Master Shapeshifter lets you shapeshift freely without affecting my mana at all, which is great for like if you have to break roots going against a Feral Druid or a Feral Druid or a Resto Druid, Hunters, Rogues spamming poisons on you, stuff like that. 9th Life, you can swap this with Cat Form, which increases healing done to you by 20%. I like to stick with this even if I have a healer in 3s. I mean, I stick with it in 3s anyway, just because if you get in a bomb by a rogue, you get bomb, kidney, spree, you're taking 10% less damage plus whatever your versatility is. For your gear, I don't have best in slot gear right now because I'm sure all of you know I got banned recently for one of the RBG groups I was in. A rogue used a fly hack application. Blizzard found out about it, banned everyone in the RBG because they can't just allow us to hack and get free conquests like that. I didn't know about the rogue hacking, by the way, until after the fact. Like, nobody did. But I'm going to leave a link in the description to my old Feral Druid, which has all best in slot gear, best in slot enchants, everything. Basically, your stat priority is going to be versatility, crit, mastery, haste. Your basic opener for targets that you're not going to want to be killing in an opener. Like, sometimes there's targets you can kill in an opener, but I'll get to that later. This is the opener that you're going to be using for most targets. You're going to want to Rake, Shred, Shred, Tiger's Fury, Shred, Shred, Rip, and then if you need to, Root, whatever, get away from them. Yeah. For targets that you're going to be wanting to kill in an opener, here's going to be your basic opener. I have to wait on Tiger's Fury. But there's some targets that you can open and kill. Like, there's some Mistweaver monks, you can kill them in an opener depending on your target. Depending on your partner, I mean. So, if you're trying to kill a target in an opener, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do the opener like I just said, and then you're going to Tiger's Fury, all that good stuff. Ferocious Bite, and then start a burst. When you're bursting as a Feral Druid, it's always ideal to have above 70 energy, Tiger's Fury off cooldown, and Nature's Vigil off cooldown. And it's preferable that the target is off stun DR, because at the beginning of your burst you can keep the target stunned for a good amount of time. You want to, at the beginning, have them stunned just so you can get as much damage off as quickly as possible. So basically when you're bursting, you want to rake, shred to 5 combo points, bite, rake them again for another stun. You're not going to be able to get another Ferocious Bite off before that stun comes off DR. So you're going to get to around 3 or 4 combo points. Then you're going to rake them again to get the 5th combo point and bite. And by that time you've gotten 2 huge Ferocious Bite crits off. Target should be pretty low at that point. So I'll show you that right now. Pop one shot, stun, Tiger's Fury, bite, stun again, shred, stun one more time, bite. You can keep going after that, just spam shred, bite. This is pretty much the face roll part of Feral Druid. Another thing I forgot to mention is Ferocious Bite with 25 energy, which is what it costs, does say that 30,000 damage. However, you can use Ferocious Bite with 50 energy, which increases the damage done by 200%. So if you have your energy bar above 50, it'll automatically consume the rest of that energy and double the damage, so it'll do around 60 damage. Alright, so next I'm going to go over some macros. First macro is a Wild Charge trap eating macro. You basically press one button twice and it'll wild charge to your party member. So it's good for eating traps, escaping, getting to pillars, getting to top of second story of Blade's Edge Arena, stuff like that. So basically you press it twice, wild charges to your teammate. And that's basically first macro. Second macro is I like to use Nature's Vigil with my Incarnation Burst, because it'll heal you for a shit ton, so that way you can use Incarnation defensively also. I like to bind Mark of the Wild to my mount, just because it's a lot easier. I mean, mounts up, it also casts Mark of the Wild. Yeah. Berserk, I like to bind my Trinket to, because sometimes I'll burst without using Berserk at the beginning. So if I have to scare some defensives out of someone, I'll go like this. Just use Incarnation, save Berserk, hit them a couple times to get some defensives out of them. Once they've used their defensives, I'll pop Berserk and go from there. Focus Fairy Fire macro. I set my focus as the Rogue or the Priest, whatever I need to keep Fairy Fired, and I use my Fairy Fire focus. It's good for Rogues and Priests, especially Feral Druids too, any Druid for that. Root Focus, this is good for Warriors, DKs, Rogues, anything pretty much. Clone Focus, this is important, just like Cyclone Focus basically. Bash Focus, same thing. Kick Focus, same thing. Skull Bash. Party 1 and Party 2, remove Corruption. This is good for getting Hexes, Wyverns, Poisons from Rogues, stuff like that. And yeah, next I'll go over my add-ons. I like to use Druid Focus, which is this add-on right here. It shows what abilities I have, shows how long my Savage Roar is up, shows how long my Rake is up. If I go duel my friend over here, it'll show you how long each of these is up, and it'll show you when Tiger's Fury is off cooldown. So I'll open real quick. Shows this. If you have, if you're using it with Savage Roar, it'll show up Rake as a red buff. If you use it with Tiger's Fury, it'll show up yellow. If you use it normal, it'll show up red again. Use it without Savage Roar, it'll just show up with nothing. Also does the same for Thrash. Use it with Savage Roar, shows up red. Tiger's Fury, it'll show up yellow. This add-on will also show you when you need to Ferocious Bite instead of Rip, because when a target is below 25% health, it will refresh the duration of your Rip on the target. This will show you right here, instead of the Rip icon, it'll show you a Ferocious Bite icon showing that the target is below 25% health, so you're able to Ferocious Bite them and reset Rip. Another good thing about this is it shows your combo points, because since the patch, they implemented that you have the same amount of combo points no matter what target you're on. So if I'm not looking at a target, it'll show me that I still have that same amount of combo points, which is great for swap names, stuff like that. The next add-on I'll be going over is Extra CD, which is this. I've gotten a lot of questions about this right here. It shows when my weapon procs. So the enchant on my weapon, it'll show it when it procs. So right here it shows that it's going to count down from 3. Now it's gone. So yeah, that's what the Extra CD icon is for. Next add-on I'll be going over is Gladius, which everyone knows what Gladius is. Interrupt bar, which here I can show you that right here. Interface add-ons. Interrupt bar 2. It is this right here. It shows every class, every kick that is on cooldown. I turn mine on into arena only, just because I don't want this annoying thing right here the whole time. If you turn on arena only, it'll only come up in arenas. Arena mode will, like, say you're going against a paladin and a druid. It will show only the kicks that are available to paladin and druid. So it'll show rebuke and it'll show skull bash. That's arena mode. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of the video, if you have any questions, stuff like that. I'll be leaving a link in the description to my old account, which got banned. It'll have all the gear, weapon, all the best in slot gear that you need. And yeah, have a good one, guys.